valuable as the last week been, not only just kind of recharge the battery, but just kind of get the guys off their feet a little bit, maybe get some of them healthy, because I know some have been dealing with some bumps and bruises.
Yeah, it's that time of year. I can't speak for all the coaches in the SEC, but since our challenge changed from the Big 12 to the ACC, I know I like this format better, to have a 7-day stretch right in the middle of, the conference season. I would imagine most coaches and players look forward to it. Certainly, it hasn't been as enjoyable as maybe it could have been if we had played better in our 2-game homestand going into it. But it's been welcome for a number of reasons, like you mentioned, bumps and bruises. At this point in the season, if you're 100% healthy and you feel tip-top, you're very, very fortunate. It's a long, grueling season, and there's a lot of mileage that's put on all the players, and becomes a tired game at times. And then on top of that, we've had, I guess, the crud going through us a little bit in terms of the program, starting Saturday and Sunday, and it's kind of bounced around a little bit. So fortunately, we've been able to manage that probably better than we would have if we had a game to prepare for.
We'll go to Paul, the coaches left, and Benjamin.
Obviously, Coach, you have an older team, and a lot of teams in this league do, and you see most of the standouts are older guys, but you see a lot of freshmen that have played well, and obviously with Georgia, with Asa, the way he has dominated inside. Just what have you seen from him this year, and how difficult is he to kind of hold down in that post?
Yeah, once you go deeper into the video, it's very remarkable how mature he is as a basketball player. I don't know him personally, didn't even watch him play in the circuit, so my familiarity with him was by reputation until this season, and watching him recently the most, and he just plays different out there than most freshmen do. He's just got a mature game. He's obviously developed physically and mentally, and he's very, very skilled and very comfortable on the court. He's made a huge impact, for their program and for their team. And he's certainly they got a lot of good players, like everybody does in this league, but it starts with him at the top.
Go ahead, Benjamin, and then we'll go to Sam next to him.
Last couple of years, your team was under 500 in the conference at the halfway point of SEC play, and then got better in the second half. So, what's it going to take for that to happen again this year, and what gives you confidence that that's going to happen?
Yeah, we've been there, done that. Haven't really talked to the team about that. Contemplated if we need to or should make that decision here shortly. But the experience, can't teach it. It's obviously helpful in a number of different situations, and hopefully it will be in this one from the coaching staff and some of the players that have been through it. But unfortunately, just because that was the case in years past, that we went on many runs in the second half to put ourselves in position, doesn't necessarily mean it's going to happen again. You can't just rely on that, because our teams in the last couple of years have done that. But that will be the expectation. Obviously, each game is going to be huge. The rest of the season, certainly, like everyone, we're focused on the next one. But we're in a position now where we've got to win basketball games, regardless of who we're playing and where we're playing. We've got to win basketball games, and it starts Saturday.
I'll ask about the three-point perimeter defense. What's just being done this week to address that?
Yeah, we've done a deep dive on going some film review of games prior, because we had the time, and to try to pinpoint some things that we were not doing, or doing for that matter, that has led to the large number of threes in an efficient manner that they're shooting the threes against us. So, we're not going to overhaul, what we do. Unfortunately, it just wasn't one thing that you could say, hey, let's do this different and everything will be rosy. It doesn't work that way. It's just, one time it was, no urgency to contest. One time it was, we didn't guard the ball well. One time it was, offensive rebound is a great opportunity for other teams to catch and shoot inside out threes. And so there were a myriad of issues that we saw, and certainly, we're tweaking, certain actions that we guard to try to put our kids in better position, and hopefully it'll work.
We'll go to coaches Wright and then Jacob, and then we'll come back to Paul and to Benjamin.
Coach RJ, Riley, and Claudel really haven't had their best offensive game the past 2 games. What can we maybe do on that end of the court to let us guys go?
Yeah, we need those guys to play better. We all can play better, but the 3 you mentioned are guys that are all capable scorers and have shown the ability, here and even elsewhere for that matter, to be able to shoot and score the basketball. And we need all 3 of them to do what they do best. And I think it starts with just confidence. That's the vibe. That's the feel that all players seek. And we, staff, teammates, everybody inside our walls need to figure out ways to, help them. But I believe that they're all 3 in their own way, mentally capable of understanding and not, sitting in it, not letting it take control of them and beat them down. I just don't see that happening. Off topic, when you go through what we did in our last game as a coach, certainly you have in your mind what the response should be in practice, but unfortunately it doesn't always work the way you want it to. You do your best to try to figure out a message and a game plan, for a day, for a week, for a season for that matter. But at this point, it's, day to day. And I've been pleasantly pleased that the response, thus far on the floor Monday and Tuesday was what we wanted it to be. They've had a good approach. They've done what we've asked them to do, and hopefully that will help us be a better basketball team going forward.
Got time for a few more. We'll go back to Paul.
You mentioned confidence. You feel like that's been a big thing with Josh the last couple of games? It seems like he's had you mentioned a different bounce in his step, and when those first couple of shots fall, he just kind of seems like a different player, like most guys are, I guess.
Yeah, like, we've talked about before, these players are human. It's not a video game. You don't joystick the game. And most individuals, most teams for that matter, large percentage of them anyway, have peaks and valleys each season. When you're in a peak, everything feels good and everything's going in, and it's all good. And then certainly when you're not in one of those, it's as if the world's ending in your basketball world, your professional life that way. And Josh in particular, people were, disappointed in some of his splits and his shooting percentages. I was never concerned about it. I got the ultimate faith in that young man, and I know what he's put in and what he's invested in his game, and how much he loves the game. And certainly he does have a little different bounce in the step, to use your phrase, and it hasn't been in wins the last couple games, but I think he feels really good about it. I think everybody around him feels good about it.
Benjamin.